Afternoon. It's supposed to be good morning, actually. It's Monday, isn't it? Get myself all worked up about getting a proper video out for you. And then, although I've got an excellent video prepared for probably this evening, I'm not going to rush it because I want to get that one right. It's an auction video. It's very good. Lots and lots of you have been emailing me about this fire. So I tell you what, let's make this a general update. Everybody calm down. Everybody slow down. If you need to go put the kettle on, pause it here, go make a cup of tea, and we'll just have a little general chat, slow down summary, because I appreciate Geoff Buys Cars can be quite chaotic, and let's just slow it down a bit, and we'll just have a general chat for a Monday, and we'll see if we can set up the week. So, first up, if you saw my farmer's market video, this is the dice that I bought, and it's rather lovely, and I do find myself driving the 7 Series, just messing with it in my hand, just like this, so I'll probably mess with it throughout the video. Right, the fire. 2 actually, at least 2. There's been more. There's so many at the moment, and plane crashes and helicopter crashes, and it's, you know, Donald Trump and tariffs. I think we're at the end of the world. I nearly made this video last week. In fact, I tried to make it, but the road noise was too bad on I don't know where my proper camera mount's gone. I just need to order like 4. Same with flat caps, they've all gone missing as well. Flat caps and camera mounts, I seem to lose them at an alarming rate. I'll order some more camera mounts. I was filming on this mount and it was just vibrating too much. So I never got it out. But that video was before Donald Trump revised the tariffs. And I was just thinking, are we actually at the end of the world now? I think we are. I think we've passed that point. I don't think there's any money left. I think everybody's run out. And you'll see that in the auction video that goes out. I think it'll be tomorrow. I'm going to have a productive day. Mrs. G wants help on the house, so I've got to do that. But I think we're just generally, it's all feeling quite end of the world, isn't it? And if you look at it from the perspective of children coming up and through, pensions is in the news today as well. And I've always thought the pensions thing is a huge scam that's going to collapse. If you're on a final salary pension, if you're in the public service, if you've managed to retire already on a good pension, you're an endangered species, because I don't think it's going to happen for my generation. And that's the end of the world. If there's nothing to look forward to after you finish your working life, then why bother? And that's where we're ending up. So we go, oh, well, you know, we need to keep the working populations alive. So immigration is the answer. And then integration is a problem, as we well know. And then society collapses and community collapses and culture collapses. And that's the end of the world. And we haven't even talked about the fire yet. So this is where my head's been at lately. The fire, there was a fire at Gatwick Airport. It was a Volkswagen. The news did their very best to report that it was just a car on fire. And because we know these things now, we're all suspicious. We go, what kind of car was it? What was the engine? And the news goes, oh, none of that matters. The fire's been put out. It was a hybrid. It was a PHEV. It was a PHEV, petrol hybrid electric vehicle. Looked to me from the video that the fire was coming from underneath, which we saw before. Fire coming from underneath in the Land Rover that set fire at Luton. There was definitely a diesel, definitely, except it was a 2016, and it was on the crossover year where they had hybrid lithium. They either had hybrid technology or they had lithium batteries for all the bits that Range Rovers need these days underneath the passenger seat. And it looked to me that although it was definitely a diesel, the way the flames were spurting out the side looked like a battery had been breached. But that was a diesel. And obviously this latest one at Gatwick, was a diesel, according to the media, unless you run the number plate through the DVLA, in which case it's a petrol hybrid electric vehicle. And then you've got the one in Scotland last week. I missed that one. And sometimes with the fire videos, I let everybody else have a go. You know, once someone's made a fire video, there's no need. And the only need that I have to post a fire video is just to let you know that I do know, because otherwise I get hundreds of emails. But the fire one's an interesting one because it's the second time it's happened at this battery recycling plant. So recycling all of the batteries that we need for net zero is extremely risky, costs a fortune, labour intensive, and it doesn't really work. Same with the solar panels. You know, we know that solar panels can't really be recycled, nor the windmills. And the windmills kill the birds. Bit of a wild video, this. Welcome to my brain. Windmills are killing eagles in America at a rate that is so incredible that they won't release the data. That's true. That's actually happening. So the windmills are killing all the birds. And, you know, you get a photo of an eagle dead at the bottom of a windmill. And if the eagle was covered in oil, it would be all over the news. You know, if it was an oil spill, we'd know about it. But because it's green energy and net zero, the data's redacted. Anyway, back to the case in point. The one in Scotland, this is the second fire they've had at this recycling facility, which is called Phoenix. And again, you know how there's like little clues here and there, and sometimes I'll read an article and the person's surname is directly connected to the crap that I'm reading about, and you just go, how can this be a coincidence? They called the place Phoenix, and they've had 2 fires there. So somebody make that make sense. Huge fire. And again, like in the videos, which you will all have seen by now, the bystanders are all stood there filming. It's possible lithium and cobalt stuff going up into the air. What you need to do at that stage is get in your car and drive as far away as you possibly can. Don't stand there filming it. And the damage and the smoke and everything was unbelievable. It was a proper fire. You know, why aren't the locals kicking up a fuss about the location of that fire? And again, if you look at the aerial footage, looks to me like a council estate. And people on council estates don't really seem to have too much say in what goes on in their local area. And they don't tend to be the kind of people that want to get involved. Because, you know, in the old days, council estates were council housing for people, and there was respect, and there was communities, and there was almost a pecking order, and you respected your elders, and you got to know the local area. And these days, probably Somalians, isn't it? You can't say that. And that's the point. We've reached a stage where net zero is going to kill us. You can't say that. Immigration, probably also. But you can't say that either. And the collapse of culture and community. And if you try to defend your culture and community, you're a right-wing racist. And this is where I think we're reaching the end of the line with stuff. I don't know where stuff goes next. Where do we go from here? If for net zero we need electric cars, and the electric cars aren't selling, and then they're massively depreciating, like hugely, the depreciation on electric cars. And then cars have got so complex that now we've got a knock-on effect in that the price of cars is coming down as well. You know, Richard from Challenger Road, I was chatting to him the other day, and he's just got £20,000 discount on a BMW M3 Touring. Now, that's a car that there should be a waiting list for. BMW should not be discounting M3s. A friend of mine is looking at an M5 at the moment. Again, same thing, £10,000 off the list price of the brand new M5. These are cars that, you know, these aren't EVs. These are desirable, you know, aspirational status symbol cars. They shouldn't have discounts on them. They should be selling. So we've got the car market collapsing due to what's going on with the EV mandate, which is based on net zero. And in order to achieve net zero, we've got to kill all of the eagles, burn down all the people in council estates, and bankrupt everybody in the process. So where does it go next? I'm not sure. It's exciting. It's an exciting time to be alive. If you're kind of a nihilist, it's a perfect time to be alive, because some men just want to watch the toast burn. And I think there is an element of me, you know, I'm looking out for the failure of the Western world, because I've never particularly enjoyed my role within the Western world. And maybe that's why we want the banks to collapse and we want things to fail, so that we can perhaps rebuild it in a way that would be better for humans. Because this is where we've reached a stage where we've got a world that is no longer... We have a world that is for humans, that is no longer functioning for humans, and is no longer providing all of the basic things that humans actually need. You know, we as humans, we need more than just food and water. And, you know, well, there's many people that haven't even got that. And I don't know where we go next. Am I being too negative? Have I woken up on the wrong side of bed this Monday? Should I have just got up and made a car video instead of tidying the whole house and getting involved and helping the kids to tidy their bedroom? Maybe if I'd just got up and gone out to work this morning, I wouldn't have had to deal with any of that, and we'd be in a much more positive place. But because the road's closed outside my house, and there's a road closed in the middle of Malvern, I don't think I would have arrived at work in any better of a mind space than I'm in right now. So that is the week. That's 2 fires that we know about. That's a little bit on net zero, a little bit on windmills. I don't think I'll do anything special on windmills. So what's coming up this week, other than me sitting in a 7 Series and playing with a metal die? I've been told that it's die when it's singular. I should have bought 2, actually. then it would have been dice. What's coming up other than that? Well, I'm going to go do some more work on the motorhome this week, and I appreciate that some people are getting bored of motorhome videos because there's not enough progress this week. But what I might do is I'm probably not going to put another edit out now until we've got some real progress, like wallpaper, for example, or floor. I'll hold off a little bit. Although some of you massively enjoy the chat that takes place. I think there's too much chatting and not enough working. But then, you know, got distracted. There was a pickup truck that arrived, and that was a whole load of fun. What am I going to do with the pickup truck? I know you're all wanting to know that. It won't be having a full restoration. I think the minute you take a wet sponge to that truck, you're going to ruin it. So I'm going to clean the windows, and that's it. And then I am going to improve the interior and make it safe so that if we take it anywhere, kids can climb in and out. I'll do the seating area nicely, clean up the dashboard, and we'll do the pickup bed area so that it can display products. And I think for the minute, that'll be that. So there's maybe a day's work there. We'll have Stu do the seat for us. So I've got a nice cowhide seat on it. And then it'll be a display piece. That's fine for the moment. Before we get in with, you know, trying to restore the chassis or anything like that. I don't want to touch the bodywork because the bodywork is kind of beautiful. And then Mrs. G's Strawberry Jam t-shirts they're available on the current website, but we're looking at moving to a new provider for t-shirts, so that's coming this week. I've got a chat coming on Wednesday about some crap that's going on in Malvern, that's still going on in Malvern, that I've talked about before. Massive power grab, huge land thing going on in Malvern. Solar panels and housing is what it will be about. Probably solar panels and housing for people that didn't originally live in the UK. But the locals don't realise that that's what it's about, because local attitudes are very strange indeed. So right now, because if you're watching this video, you're invested, aren't you? And you're still with me, so I'll carry on. In Malvern, what's going on right now is they've closed one of the main roads for something like 7 months, like a main arterial road that connects Malvern to Worcester. And that road actually also connects like Herefordshire and bits of Wales to Worcester if you're going into Worcester. And they've closed it so they can build a solar farm. So a private enterprise has closed a public road so they can build a government taxpayer funded scam. That's what's going on. And there's a few people that have been kicking up a fuss about it in the local Facebook groups, but the majority of people in the local Facebook groups, bearing in mind, this is going to add a huge amount of time to everybody's day, there and back. I've done it before. I know how much time it's going to add. It's a lot. It's going to add a lot to your life of sitting in a car, he says, while sitting in a car. But I'm choosing to do this. And most of the attitudes from people are, oh, just find another route, or it's only 10 minutes in your morning, or it's all going to be okay. Oh, you're just against change. Not realizing that these corporations who are taking taxpayer government handouts are stealing hours of your life. Speaking of which, there was another email that arrived in my inbox. And again, if you're still with me, let me know. Let me know you're at the 13-minute, 33-second mark, because we're about to be there. Another email that landed in my inbox this morning. Someone's had a reply from the National Highways Agency asking why the motorway is at 50 miles an hour still. So just to backtrack, we've had probably 10 years of changing the motorway to a smart motorway, realizing that a smart motorway doesn't work. Now they're working hard to build in refuge areas, and nothing is any better. So we've gone from a 70 mile an hour motorway with 3 lanes and a safety lane, a hard shoulder, down to a predominantly 50 mile an hour 4 lane with no safety area. And now we're at a 4 lane with some safety areas and active lane monitoring, and the motorway is slower than ever. So what we've achieved in the last 10 years is we've paid National Highways a fortune. We've paid all of the contractors a fortune. And once again, what it's cost is time from real people. So these corporations and these contractors and all of this money that is getting washed around only costs you and me time. Time is the one thing that we can't get more of. And it's the one thing that people don't seem to be valuing enough. I'm not quite sure how he ended up there on a video that was about fires. What else is going on this week? I'm desperately trying to get any of my Volvos MOT'd. I own 5 Volvos at the moment, and not one of them has got an MOT. So I need to get that sorted. I was waiting on people. Time is being stolen. I should be using those Volvos by now, but no good. And yeah, so like I said, we got this chat with counsellor. I think it's an actual council person on Wednesday about what's going on in Malvern. It's half term, which means some of the kids' friends are off school as well, so there may be a little beach road trip somewhere in between. But I'm hoping by the end of the week the inner walls are going to be on the camper van, the wallpaper is going to be done, we may possibly have the floor in, and if we're really lucky, the ceiling as well. That means we will have a finished shell that we can then build the stuff into that is going to get done. I don't think there's going to be any progress on the truck this week. That's going to be shelved. And I don't think I have any cars arriving. So this week, Geoff doesn't buy cars. I will be reading some Max Power magazines. Very excited about that. I will be showing you some micro machines. Very excited about that, but I can't find them at the moment. I don't know where they've gone. They're too small. And I'm sure there'll be other things that have arrived in my inbox that I'll need to address as well. So I hope you enjoyed this Monday morning chat to set the week up, set the tone for where we're headed this week. And then we can dive straight back into the chaos with an auction video, which I've got a spreadsheet, right? So my auction video that's coming up next, I think it's going to be one of the best. It involves a spreadsheet, a coloured spreadsheet, printouts, a summary sheet, and 2 different colour pens. So it's going to be a good one. And I tell you what, what's happening is exactly what I said would happen, and is exactly in line with a dying generation of enthusiasts and a failing economy. Right. On that note, you best go and enjoy your Monday, because I've just ruined it for you. Crack on, have a great day. Let me know what you're up to this week. Let me know how your weekend was. How's your weather? How's your skies? We don't talk about that on this channel. And yeah, let me know how you all are. That's my Monday. Thanks for watching.